What the actual fuck is going on? I mean, first day one's Gary's incident, and now Guys of the Wolf. Guys, guys, this is a really confusing rant video. I'm going to be confused ranting about this. You're going to be confused listening to me rant about this. So, let's be confused together. Now, you may know of the game Guys of the Wolf. It is a terribly made game that is up on Steam. It is clearly, at the most, student project level of work. I can say this freely because I, myself, am making a video game at student level, and that just about reflects what our game would look like. Now, because Total Biscuit made a review on it, it is instantly covered under fair use, which means that it cannot be taken down for whatever reason, unless of course a government official says otherwise. You know, it cannot be taken down due to copyright, because it is under fair use. It got taken down for copyright. Now, you think this is very similar to something. Day One's Gary's incident, where Wild Game Studios realized, oh, we've done goofed. We've pissed off somebody, we've abused the system, we'll apologize publicly, and we'll get rid of the strike. Everybody's happy. And I believe that Wild Game Studios, while still getting some flack, I think that I think they've gone a bit more, like, respect back now, because, you know, they did that. I mean, I don't know. I don't keep track of Wild Game Studios. But Guys of the Wolf's developers, Fun Creations, seems to think that they are gods. Let me explain why. This is what I've gathered, and I've had to do a lot of, like, jumping between Twitters, looking on NeoGAF, all that stuff. So, to begin with, Total Biscuit sent an email to Fun Creations saying that it was taken down and asks for it to be removed due to the fact that it is covered under fair use. Fun Creations, on the other hand, claimed that it is not the truth. Like, they openly denied it. However, in the email, it stated that they said that they will deny that they did it, and claim that they are bigger than Total Biscuit. Yes, a developer that has only released one game, has around 25 followers and 25 subscribers, is thinking that he is bigger than somebody who has 93,000 likes on Facebook, 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and is a managed partner of one of the biggest YouTube networks in the world. I don't know how you're bigger than them. Is that bigger in ego? Because if that's the case, then you've probably won that one. But I'm sorry, ego doesn't beat law. So Total Biscuit made the email public, on which Fun Creators claimed that the thing was photoshopped. In response, Total Biscuit had his PR friend show a video of him opening the email and even showing the base code, which is, of course, meant to be against the case. Now, this is where it gets really fucking confusing. Fun Creators linked the video and made it sound as if that was going in their favor, even though it is openly showing that they sent that email that said that they're going to lie and say that they didn't take down the video, and then making it sound like, oh yeah, this is a proof that we've won. That's the start of the confusion. And then Fun Creation sent another email. And this one's hilarious. This one is absolutely hilarious. In fact, it's so hilarious. So hilarious that I have to read this out. So, from Fun Creators to, I'm not going to say the name because, public reasons. This is your last warning. Our company is a lot bigger than your little YouTube channel. We are not afraid of you. Remove all your tweets and delete your channel. Do not tweet this message or we will claim it is a fake. We will get our lawyers involved and sue you. Where do I begin with this? Where do I begin with this? Okay, let's go ahead with this is your last warning. Okay, so you are deliberately breaking our right of free speech by removing something that is covered under fair use. And you have the balls to say that this is your last warning. Next, you're saying that your company is a lot bigger than your little YouTube channel. Yes, because as stated before, a developer that has only 25 likes on Facebook, around 25 subscribers on YouTube, is clearly so much more bigger than a man with 1.5 million subscribers, 93,000 likes, and is a managed channel of one of the biggest YouTube networks in the, which also has a managed partner with Game Grumps and PewDiePie and Yogscast and all that stuff. Some of the biggest YouTubers are networked with Polaris and the Game Network and such. And you're telling me that you're bigger than them? We are not afraid of you. I don't think you need to be afraid of Turtle Biscuit per se. I think you need to be afraid of what's going to happen to your reputation. Or, around this time, lack thereof. Remove all your tweets and delete your channel. You have no right in the slightest to bully him into doing what you want. What are you gonna do if he doesn't? Gonna claim that he illegally downloaded the game? Going to claim that he is part of a drug ring or a pedophile ring? What are you going to do that's going to justify all his tweets being removed and his channel being deleted? What? Come on, I'm actually curious here. What are you going to do? Do not tweet this message or we will claim it is a fake. Yeah, sure. Just put that blatant bit of evidence that you are going to lie in the face of people. Just there. Just really. Fucking really. We will get our lawyers involved and sue you. Under what basis? You threw the first punch by breaching the, act of fair use. You got rid of a piece of, a critique, a video that is classified as a review giving critique on a game, which instantly means that by law you cannot take something down under copyright because if it's covered under fair use. You're thinking that you're the one that can call the shot. Now, of course, Turtle Biscuit at this point was like, okay, speak with our lawyer. And this is where it gets even more confusing. Fun Creators then started apologizing and backtracking. They're like, sorry, after this email's game, please contact us directly and let's have 2 trusted people to be CC'd. Agreed? And then, a little bit later, they uploaded I don't even fucking know! It's the same email as the one I just quoted, except now it says this. This is your last warning. Kiss me, I adore you, John. Oh. Remove all your tweets from my heart. Do not tweet this message, you bad guy. What? What? I don't know where this is going. I honestly don't know. What? Like, even now, like, I've read this tweet several times, but even now, even at this point, right now, I'm confused. The fuck do I go with that? I mean, where do I go with that? I mean, okay, what does it mean? This is what I mean. This is where it gets really confusing. Cause it's like they got multiple personality disorder. And I know what some people are thinking. They're thinking, oh, what if this is a conspiracy? Well, okay, it may seem like a conspiracy, but if that is a conspiracy, it will be, uncovered in, law. It'll be uncovered in court. there'll be evidence to prove that it is a conspiracy. And at the same time, though, I mean, I'm not saying this like to be fanboyism of Total Biscuit, as I've said this before. I think he's an alright guy, but I hate how high his standards are, and some of his, I think his standards are way too high, and I do not like his opinion on some things, such as pre-orders and DRM. That kind of stuff, I don't agree with him. But to me, he comes off as honest. When he makes these first impression videos, he's honest about it. If he makes a mistake, he goes out of his way to point out, yes, I missed out this part. If he has to say something, like if he's paid to do something, which actually that's one of the things that they claimed. Fun Creations' initial email claimed that somebody pushed Total Biscuit to do this. And from what I've seen with Total Biscuit, he is like very, very like vocal about law stuff. Like, you see him on Bad Games quoting, like, things about the sales of Good Act and, that kind of stuff. So, to me, he seems like a kind of person that does follow the law. I mean, he has to. It's his livelihood. If he's found lying about it, he's lost his livelihood. He's got nothing left after that. So, yeah, I'm on Total Biscuit sides here. At the same time, as well, another reason why I'm on his side and not Fun Creations is that he's the only one making some bloody sense. I mean, what am I meant to say with that last email? It's just the final warning one changed into something like a 2-year-old would say. A 4-year-old tops. It's just, what? The newest bit of thing that just came up, it's nothing really big. Merge Games, who are the publishers for Guys of the Wolf, have said that they are not involved, and Total Biscuit has agreed. They say that Merge Games are the good guys. They are not involved in any way. They are just an unfortunate soul whose name was on the game and has just been dragged into this. Hopefully Merge Games doesn't get hurt too much, and hopefully they all stop. So, I think I'm going to start being a parrot now and start repeating the same things I said in Day 1's Gary's incident. You see, Fun Creations, there are 3 golden rules when it comes to creating a video game. You may say that I'm making this up, but I am talking from not personal experience, but from the personal experience of my university tutor, who has been in the industry for about 20 years. In fact, you may know a couple of the games that he's worked on, such as Battlefield 2, the console port that is. He has worked on the Xbox Battlestar Galactica game. He has recently released a Weeble game on the iPhone. I won't say recent, it's like 3 years ago, called Russian Dancing Man. The guy knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the video game industry. And the first lesson he made us drill into our head, and even now, 3 years down the line, he's still telling us these golden rules. The 3 golden rules are as followed. Be enthusiastic. Take feedback willingly. Don't be precious. Now let me explain why you have broken all 3 of those rules, and why you are not fit to call yourself developers because of that. Be enthusiastic is rather self-explanatory. You have to be enthusiastic about your work. However, that does not mean you have to be enthusiastic about protecting your work. What you have to be enthusiastic about is, of course, making the game so that it ends up being the best you can make it, but you also need to be enthusiastic about improving on it and making it better. You are clearly enthusiastic, but your enthusiasm lies in lying, threatening, and blackmailing and making no goddamn sense whatsoever. That is hilarious, but it's the wrong kind of enthusiasm. If you really want to be enthusiastic, take what he says on board. Look at your game and try and fix those problems. I've seen the game as a spectator. I saw it as a spectator, and while I do think it looks nice, there are far too many problems. The audio design is atrocious. The animation is rather lackluster. The voice acting is terrible. And you're telling me that that's okay. Well, let's go ahead and skip Rule 2 and just go to Rule 3 for a second. Don't be precious. You are treating your game like The Ring and you are Gollum. Okay? You're thinking that it's your precious, that it is perfect in every way, that no one can speak ill of it or you'll kill them. That is not the way to go, okay? Look at any game look at any developer whatsoever, look at their first games, and you will see that they're usually not very good. Oftentimes they're a giant heap of shit. You know, I mean, look at Bubsy 3D. The developers went on to make Siphon Filter, for Christ's sake. And Bubsy 3D is my most hated game at all time. And yet, you know, it was one of their first games. So I can't really hate the developers that much because, well, it was their first game, pretty much. I think they'd done like 1 or 2 games previously, but this was their first, like, 3D game. They didn't know what to do. And, you know, it sucked. It honestly sucked. Bubsy 3D is, in my opinion, the worst game ever made. But you know what? They went on and they made Siphon Filter, which is one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games of all time. You know, you cannot say that your first game, your very first game, you can't say that that is your magnum opus. You can't say that it is never going to get any better than this. You cannot... You just can't. Okay? You can... No. Okay? No. You cannot say... Okay. Your first game's always going to be bad. The first time you do something, it's going to be bad. You're not going to do it perfectly. If you look at my animations, my first animation was absolutely atrocious. No rigs, jerky animation. Yeah, just really bad. And now if you look at it now, I'm making the Luigi's Ballad animation in 3D, you know, it's Source Filmmaker 100%, and the animation... As far as I'm personally concerned, I mean, I'm happy to take feedback. You know, people can say, oh, I don't like how this is, and I'll do it, but it's getting sidetracked here. You know, just compare the two. Luigi's Ballad intro, phenomenally better than my first attempt at Source Filmmaker. Okay, look at anybody who has done something first. I mean, it's like my first music track was of the Sonic Heroes intro. In fact, I'll go ahead and play it! This was my first ever time making music, and it is awful. And now, well, take it away, a small drop. Okay? Look, guys, I understand it's your first game, you're being thrown into a big wide world, but you do not go ahead and think that your game is perfect, and you don't lash out, and you don't be precious about your game. This is the entire part of making, okay? Your game can always be better. Your game can and will always be better, you know, later on down the line. If you went ahead and remade Guise of the Wolf right now as your second game, you remade your Guise of the Wolf, I can guarantee you that it will be much better than the first one. Why? Because you've learned, you've experimented, you've gotten better. But you're making it seem that any game that you release is perfect in every way, and that for anyone to say otherwise is sin. Okay? That is not how you do things in the games industry. If EA were to say, oh, well, we've released Battlefield 4 and it's got horrible server problems, well, it is not my fault, and if anybody says otherwise, you will be banned. You will not be allowed to play. We will keep doing this. No, 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 no. They're not precious about the game. They realize, oh, wait, we fucked up. Hyperdimension Neptunia. The first game was not that good. In fact, it was pretty bad. I mean, I love the game for its comedy, but I will admit that the gameplay is pretty bad. If they were precious, they'd be like, well, no, our gameplay is amazing. And what did they do? They were like, no, okay, you're right, we messed up. Next game's going to be Hyperdimension Neptunia MK2. We're going to reboot it. And you know what? It's actually a really good game. Like, I don't think like it's an amazing game, but it is infinitely more better. Why? Because they learned from it. Neptunia V came out. While I don't like the direction of the comedy, the gameplay still is really good. It works great. And that's because they weren't precious about it, and moving on to the second rule after we skipped it, they took the feedback willingly. You are just disregarding any feedback. Okay, you're disregarding any feedback. You're thinking that anyone who gives feedback is in the wrong. And let me tell you, you are not going to get far if you think that's the case. Day one's Gary's incident. Initially, they didn't take the feedback. They did what you're doing right now. But then they realized not only did they piss off, as I said, one of the biggest YouTube channels out there, partnered with one of the biggest networks on YouTube, they realized, wait, okay, this is one of our first games. These problems have been perfectly outlined for us. Let's go ahead and fix them. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and go onto Day One's Gary's Incidents Steam page right now, and I'm going to see what changes they've made to the patch notes. Let's see. Day 1, Gary's Incident. Let's see. Updates, updates, updates. Still looking for it. There we go. News. Yeah, I guess it's somewhere else. There we go. There's an update patch official thread. Let's look here. So let me go ahead and see. Let's see. Bug fix, bug fix, bug fix, bug fix. Bug fix. More bug fixes. Aha! One of the main things that Turtle Biscuit got really pissed off at is on the Kill the Infected Tribe Master mission that he was on, everybody died. They fixed that. They fixed that on the 3rd of last year. They have been bug fixing quite often now. You know, these guys have taken the feedback. They've even got a bug fix report official thread. So, okay. They're doing good. They have basically said, okay, we know we've got problems with the game. We will start to work on fixing the problems. And to their credit, hats off to them, they're doing that. Because they realize that if they don't follow the golden rules, they're not going to do anything. They decide to fix the golden rules. They apologize, they decide to follow the golden rules. They apologized, removed the strike, and got to work in fixing the game. And that's what they're doing. They're enthusiastically fixing the game. They're working with the community, and they're not getting angry at, it's just like, it's a pass for them. It's like, okay, we'll take the feedback. We'll work on it. And that's what they've been doing. Why can't you, Fun Creations? Why can't you? Okay, why do you think that your game is fit for purpose? Why do you think your game, it's, okay. Nowadays, developers are getting lazy. They're releasing games that are buggy because they think, oh, we can just release it in a patch. You're making it seem... Okay, so, obviously, you've released this game. It's really buggy. It's... you've released it. Not good. Quite buggy. In a perfect world, Fun Creations, this is what you should do. You should state that you are aware of those issues and that, ask people to keep saying what issues are. You then work on fixing those issues and you do it enthusiastically. But as far as it stands, you seem to be more preoccupied in trolling, blackmailing, insulting, and anything other than trying to improve your game. I mean, for Christ's sake, there is no normalization. Do you realize how easy and simple that is? I could go into Audacity, take all the voice files, I could normalize them in like, I don't know, an hour. I could probably normalize the entire, like, dialogue in this game in 1 hour on Audacity. If I so decide to, which I won't. I'm not going anywhere near that. And you're telling me that you more, instead of enthusiastically fixing that, fixing the issues like the clipping, the fact that the black outline makes, the faces work, improving the models, improving the textures, improving the controls, improving the wolf, you instead feel that it is much more worth your time to basically kick and scream and lash out at anybody who does not think your game is Game of the Year 2014. That is that is hands down the wrongest way to think of this, okay? And I'll tell you why it's wrong. Because not only for developers, but for video games themselves, they rely on reputation and legacy. Remember, I mentioned this in my mobile rant review, where mobile games will not exist because they will not have a long-lasting legacy. With legacy comes a reputation. But the same thing works, the same way. If you have a bad reputation, the legacy is short-lived. If you have a good reputation, the thing is very well-lived. The Mario series has a great reputation, still going. Sonic, great reputation, still going. Bubsy 3D, bad reputation, no longer in development. You see what this means? If you go ahead and think that you can go and just rant, complain, and do anything other than fixing it, and not only that, but denying the basic human rights of free speech, I give you about 4 months before you pack up and go home. I give you 4 months until you file for bankruptcy. 4 months. That's what I'm estimating. If you keep going this way. Maybe less, I don't know. It makes me laugh that this is the kind of industry that I'm going to be going into this summer. I'm going to be going into an industry with high expectations, oversaturation of mobile games, and indie developers who are clearly run by 10-year-olds who have not learned discipline. Sometimes I really wonder if I'm going into the right line of work. I really generally do question if this is the right line of work for me to go into. So I'll say the same thing to you, Fun Creations, that I said to Wild Game Studios. The games industry is harsh. Expectations are getting higher every single year. People will not like you when you first come out. You will have to work tirelessly to make people appreciate what you do. Welcome to the games industry, Fun Creations, developers of Guise of the Wolf and Obvious Student Project. You're going to find it very, very harsh here. Have fun. I'll catch you guys next time.